Do you know what time it is? That's right. It's right around 7 p.m. And you know what that means. It's time to relax, chill, and unwind with your girl Char, the super chick, on the evening wind down. Come on over, relax and chill. It's the evening wind down. It's the Char Show. It's the Char Show. It's the evening wind down.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Char, the super chick. It's hump day. I want to thank you all for tuning in with me. I do want to take the time out to say, wow, what a time we have been going through. First, we went through the tornado, and that was horrible. We're still building from the tornado. We have to just say Nashville stands strong. I actually hashtagged Heart Nashville, means that regardless of what we're going through right now, we will rebuild and we will recoup from it. And then now the corona. So we're all kind of quarantined per se. I mean, you know, you want to be safe. You don't want to just go out and about as if nothing is wrong. And I hear a lot of people say, everybody's panicking, everybody's doing this, Now, I will say, people, stop buying up everything in the store because you have to leave stuff for other people. But on the up and up, I will say that, we have our companies and our jobs that are mindful of the situation. So hopefully if you are at home, you are still being able to get your benefits, and you're being safe. So I guess that's the most important thing. And man, it's been a while since I've been on by myself. It kind of feels odd. But, that's what we do. It's the Super Chick Show. Well, no, the evening wind down with Char, the Super Chick. I do want to give a shout out to my peeps. Even though they're not here with me tonight, I want to give a shout out to TT and Miss Fee. And also, I want to give a big thanks to everybody who reached out to me during the tornado for my post to ask, hey, where can we bring donations? Where could we help? How could we help? It means so much for me to be able to say, hey, this is the number. This is the place that you need to go to. Let's meet up on Saturday. Let's go pass out things for people in need. And you have to give back to your community. You have to give back to your people in general, because that's what God wants us to do. And so never, ever do something with the intent of getting something in return. All right? So, yeah. I had a special guest that was going to come on, and I did post a commercial about it. I'm a young lady that was shot 6 times, and she survived. She lived to tell her story, and this is someone that I know personally up close. And so it's hard when you hear about people that you love get hurt, but we get through it. The important thing is that we make people aware of the red flags, of some of the things that may be going on that maybe you can see, and they can see it, but they don't want to take the blinders off. So it's good to be able to talk about it. And I always say, if you can't talk about it, that means you're not over it, or you haven't overcame it, or, So, but in this situation, she didn't really have a choice of only but to survive. And if you're a strong-willed person, and you know that you're going to do everything that you can do to survive, that's what you do. And that's what she did. So we had it scheduled for last week, and it didn't fall through. We had it scheduled for this week. But you have to know that it takes a lot for a person to mentally prepare themselves when you're dealing with a situation like that. So I just ask everybody that has hit me up about that show to be patient with us. We are going to do the show, but I'm not going to force the show. It will be when the time is right, when she's ready. and we'll do the show. And that kind of brings me to what we're going to talk about today. Myself as being a survivor of domestic abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. You know, those are things that come tenfold, and regardless of how you look at it, it's things that you never really recover from. You get over it and then you can talk about it, but it's a wound that's really deep and you just never get over that wound. And it replays in your mind from time to time. And I ask myself sometimes, okay, I've been married twice. I've been in 2 long-term relationships. Now into a new one that's good. But sometimes your past can creep in on your relationships because you never really fully get over when a person has abused you mentally, physically, or emotionally. And I don't think a lot of people realize that abuse comes in so many shapes and forms. And you can tell a person, hey, I don't like how you're treating me, and that person will get offended. Or most people don't even say anything. You cover it up. You carry it out of being embarrassed. You're embarrassed. So you don't want your friends to know that, hey, this great relationship that everyone thinks you have is not really so great. So a lot of times you shut that out of getting help. You don't want people to know that you're being mistreated. And then if you really love that person, you're afraid that that person's going to go to jail. Your family member is going to hate that person. So a lot of times you don't say anything, but yet and still you're going through it on your own. So at what point do we say, hey, I know what I deserve, and I'm not going to let you do that to me? But the key is to get out if that person is not willing to go and seek help. You cannot abuse somebody and say, I'm going to change because I've seen you cry, or I'm going to change because you threatened to leave me. It doesn't work that way. If a person is mentally or physically abusing you, you have to get out. And you have to get out at the first sign of the abuse. We all know that women, you shouldn't be called the B word. And I'm just going to say it. You shouldn't be called a bitch by your man. I mean, men get mad at us all the time, and I'm quite sure they're thinking it. But if you constantly are being called out your name, you're constantly being degraded, you're fat, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, a lot of times that hurts worse than physical. And I will tell you that will last with you. It may be something you're looking in the mirror, doing your hair or something, and then that comment comes up in your mind from when he or she, because women abuse men too, called you out your name, told you were fat, told you were ugly, you were too dark, you were too light, whatever it may be. That thought replays in your mind over and over. And if you're not a strong, real person, it can really take you to a different place. That's where depression comes in at. That's when you're self-worthless. You don't feel like you are worthy of the person that you're with. So then you become more subtle to being abused by that person, because at this time now you're trying to do everything you can to make this person accept you, even if it means letting this person walk all over you, letting this person abuse you. You're feeling like, now I need to prove to this person that this is who I can be. And then the whole time this person that's abusing you is usually insecure. I can't say it any other way that the person is insecure. Jealousy, rage, insecure. Something happened along the way when this person is not secure within his or herself, that they will know you don't hurt the people that you love, and then try and say, okay, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. And you're not willing to go and get help. So from experience, I know that a lot of people stay in bad relationships. And the reasons on the outside looking in, you may be like, why in the hell is she or he still with that person? Well, from experience, you have to look at, you need a plan of execution. Some people take longer than others because, there's that saying, when he or she gets tired, they'll finally leave. Well, that's not necessarily true, because if you are afraid of this person, then it's not going to be that quick to leave. You'll be tired long before you find the courage and the strength to get up and go. And that's when you need to say something to someone. And I'm not with people telling people, oh yeah, you need to leave him, you need to leave her, this, that. No, but what I will tell you is right from wrong. And no one has the right to put their hands on you. No one has the right to call you out your name. No one has the right to belittle you. No one. I don't care if it's your husband, someone you've been with 20, 30 years, and y'all just having a bad fight. No, that should never be allowed. But we tend to accept it, and things that are horrible to the outside person looking in, to us, oh, it's just this, oh, she's just mad today, or he's just in a bad mood, or we got in an argument, he didn't really mean it, in the next 5 minutes, you're right back in the same situation. No one in their current state of mind would think that the person that they're laying next to would possibly try to kill them, would harm them in any other way than loving them. But guess what? If you take a person that's insecure, you can look at another male or female the wrong way, and bam, it's on and popping. Now, we're all jealous. Everybody has a jealous streak. I don't care who you are. I don't care what it is. Not one person can tell me that there's not a little bit of jealousy in them if their mate is conversating too much with another person, or whatever the case may be. We all have some jealousy in us. But it's when you take that jealousy and it turns into rage, or it's extreme, then that's when it's a problem. And sometimes we as people have to look at ourselves and say, now why in the hell am I still in this situation? Am I not good enough? I had a person tell me that I don't love myself. Now, at that moment, I didn't really take offense to it. But as I thought about it more and more, to me, that was a very offensive comment. Because first of all, you don't know me, and you can't put a time limit on my life as to when I should do this or that. Because sometimes we confide in people, and we tell people things thinking that they're the type of person that would listen and, console you rather than judge you. Well, this point I was judged, and I mean it was offensive, because if I come to you and say, hey, I've had this go on in my life, and I've had that go on in my life, and I just think I need to take a break, and I really I would really like to be with somebody that would just love me for me, and they look you in your face and say, you don't really love yourself. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But at that moment, you don't think you're a bit like that. You're kind of like, well, but then when you sit and think about it, like, how dare you tell me I don't love myself if I'm willing to come to you and, maybe ask you for help or whatever it is. Then I love myself enough that I know something is wrong. And I think when it comes to abuse, we take it too lightly. You cannot, again, think that person is going to change if that person is not willing to seek help. And even then, even if that person is willing to seek help, sometimes it's better to just be a friend than to even be willing to put yourself back in that situation. It's a little different when you're married as to how you get out. I mean, you can kindly walk away. Or let me backtrack. Your mindset is a little different when you're married, when it comes to an execution plan. Because most married couples, you have things together, you have children together,